by the time this video finishes, you'll have something that looks like this, that's very organized, and it's something that you can take with you and adapt and grow as you go. This is our time. Welcome back, it's good to see you here. Earlier on in the series we shared a wee bit about J.K. Rowling's origin story, and I was wondering if you remembered that. If you do, like myself, have you ever wondered how people like her, having lived on government assistance for many years, reinvent themselves continuously in the face of obstacles that seem overwhelming? Well, before we look at that, and if you're ready to follow along with us for a few short minutes today, why not grab yourself a cozy cup of tea, pull up the old easy chair and relax. And if there's any part of this video that you're unsure of, simply run it back and watch it again. Are you ready to brighten up the future with me? All right. Welcome back to CareBlair. My name is Kyle, and here we share positive news, stories and information that helps local volunteers, non-profit community groups and charities to connect with their audience in meaningful ways online. If you're joining us here for the first time, we've put together a collection of short videos designed to simplify the universal credit process for those of us who might be finding it difficult to understand and set up on our own. You'll also be able to read through this episode and all other episodes in this series over on our website at careblair.org. So we have judicious Joanne, aka J.K. Rowling, who lived on government assistance for food, housing and healthcare for numerous years. Now, after wondering about how she went about reinventing herself during these challenging times, let's look at one of the ways she overcame those obstacles. She looked at obstacles as a gift. When we really break it down, obstacles are a gift to change. They are an opportunity for us to transform ourselves into becoming more than we thought we were capable of. You see, Joanne went from working with Amnesty International to 7 years on government assistance, and in that time she had to face several obstacles, from the death of her mother, divorce, poverty and rejection from various publishers. The key thing, the thing that brings us all together, is that with each obstacle there was this sort of inflection point where she had to ask herself whether or not to stay on this path or to try out a different path, a path that she knew deep down that she needed to be on. For us, the thought of going down a completely different path, or at least a path we've not been on for a long while, can really ramp up our anxiety. And the thing about this type of anxiety is that it works against us. And the way we get around this type of anxiety is to really think about the consequences of not doing what we know to be good for us. Now, when we do that, the dragon that's in front of us, that's guarding the path, is now all of a sudden behind us, chasing us from behind. And that type of anxiety is incredibly useful. It's the type of anxiety that works for us, giving us the fuel we need for the journey we know we need to be on. Together, for the next few minutes, we'll share why we need to connect our budget to our purpose, how to create a free monthly household budget using Gmail's Google Sheets, how to use the Google Sheet, how to maintain this budget daily and weekly, and useful links to more information about budgeting online. We've tried to stick to New Year's resolutions, right? Well, in the same way, trying to budget more simply because we think we should, well, it likely won't go too well. And it's for this very reason that we should be thinking about connecting our budget to our deeper purpose. And that's something that's personally important to us. It's our deeper purpose that pulls us through the tough times. The budget, that's only the tool to help us on that journey. Let's use J.K. Rowling to illustrate how this is done in practice. So on the left we have judicious Joanne, and she is going to use her own good judgment in getting past the obstacle in her path to get to what she really wants. Judicious Joanne's obstacles are: she's a single parent, living on government assistance, has mounting debt, and her mental health is struggling. She has a personal goal to find work that she is truly passionate about. She wants to become a writer. So she has a notebook and some free time in the evenings when her daughter is asleep, and decides to devote 1 to 2 hours each night improving her writing skills. This is actually a true story. A short while after she began writing, found herself on a held-up train from Manchester to London, and it was here that the thought entered her mind for the Harry Potter series. In other words, as a thing begins, so it grows. Let's discover how we can go about creating our monthly household budget using Gmail's Google Sheets. The first step is to log into your Gmail account to access the Google Sheets. Now, if you don't have a Gmail account, I made a video earlier in the year showing how to do that. I'll leave the link in the description below. You can see you can create a blank spreadsheet, or you can choose from a few of their pre-made templates. Now, as you can see right here, you've got the monthly budget option. That's exactly what we're going to be using. And as you can see by looking at it, it's already populated everything we need for us. So it makes it really easy. And I'll show you how to go about doing this just now. You can customize this to your own liking. You can change all the colors, you can change the words by simply clicking on it and just typing in, and then you can come in here and select your starting balance, and then you can come in here and put in your costs. But I'll show you one that I made before we get into this, and as you can see, this looks quite different. And what I've done is just changed a few colors and put in all my bills and all my income. By the time this video finishes, you'll have something that looks like this, that's very organized, and it's something that you can take with you and adapt and grow as you go. So let's first start by deciding what our monthly bills are. Now, it's important that you maybe have a few bills to access, maybe your most recent ones, maybe any bank statements you've got that lists any direct debits that you have coming out, such as your rent, things like that. If you can get them together, this will make this much easier. So as you can see here, they've pre-populated the things for us, and that might not work for us. So all we need to do is just come in here and just simply replace it with what we actually do have. So I'll go and do that just now. We're going to go for groceries, rent, electric, gas, council tax, phone, internet, TV, transport, personal entertainment, which is like your Amazon subscription services, your TV streaming services, all that kind of stuff. Then you've got credit cards 1 and 2, or just however many credit cards you use. Then if you've got any rent arrears that you're trying to catch up on, then if you did take out the Universal Credit Advance, it'll be useful to record this as an expense. And then you've got other debts here that you might have, and then any childcare costs that you might have. So that's what we've put in so far. The next thing we need to do is come up here, and you'll see where it says starting balance. Now, as you can see on this pre-made one that I've done, you can see I've put the starting balance at £1,415. This is based on the benefit calculator results by Gingerbread Calculators, based on a single mother of 25 years old who has one child at 4 years old, is unemployed, and has not been on Universal Credit before. So this is like somebody who's new to Universal Credit. And because of her situation, the benefit calculator has estimated this amount that she would get each month. This includes Universal Credit, which comes in at £1,192, and her means tested benefits, which cover childcare, which was it, child benefit, reduced council tax, and the Scottish Child Payment. That's what is included in a means tested benefit. So it comes to a total of around £1,415. So that's why we're starting with that. And so when we are on our one, all we need to do is come in here, double click, okay, and then just put 1,415, okay, and that will automatically start things off for us. Now what we need to do is come down here to where we did put in all our bills, and now where it says planned at the top here, and you can also see that it's highlighted, which, another thing, only change the highlighted cells. Do not touch any other cells, okay? Just the ones that are highlighted in this orange sort of tint color here. Only customize those ones. So for groceries and for rent and for all the other bills, now's the time to go and input all of those costs, and I'll go and do that just now. Okay, so we put in all of our bills. So as you can see, our groceries, this is per month, £200, rent £500, electric £40, gas £40, council tax £115, and so on. Once you've got this, that's all you need to do for expenses. Let's move over to the income section and see what we can do with this. Now, it's given us, again, much like the expenses, just these pre-filled out categories. We're going to change these to suit us. If we go back to the spreadsheet that I made, you can see for income, I put universal credit, means tested benefits, and then I put a couple of other things that I'll talk about in a little bit later, which is self-development, Christmas fund, birthday fund, and emergency fund. Okay, so let's, as you can see, for the universal credit, 1,192, and for means tested benefits, 221, which gives us our total up here of 1,415. Okay, so let's go and do that now. Okay, so for income, we have just input the categories and we put in how much we are getting for those particular things each month. Down the bottom here of this spreadsheet, you'll see two tabs, one that says summary and the other one next to it which says transactions, and you want to click on this. Now, as you can see, we've got what looks almost like a diary, if you like, sort of like something that we can record on. And as you can see, you've got rent and category home, but we're going to customize this to make it more suitable for us and what our situation is. We've set it up as expenses and income, much the same as it's set up on the previous page. And as you can see, we've recorded all of our expenses here. So over the week and over the month, each day we record everything that we spent here, and we give it the proper category. So it's really important that each day for 10 or 20 minutes, we come in here and we simply just write in the date, okay, like this, 2021, and then we just record how much we spent. So maybe you should keep a receipt of the things you buy in a day. So let's just go for something like £20. Let's go for, let's say we went to the cinema, okay, one day, and let's just record this as personal entertainment. Okay, that's coming as an expense. Now what we'll find is when we come over to the summary and we go to personal entertainment, we're now £20 over, because we only planned to spend £20 and we've actually spent that £20 plus an extra £20, so we spent £40. So we're £20 over what we plan to spend. Now, if we do this for a whole week or even a whole month, this gives us an understanding of where our money is going, and it gives us the opportunity to then in month 2 create simple actions that we can take so that we can start to create the change we wish to see in our world. So that might be less worry, less anxiety, and more time to spend with our loved ones. Maybe we can go to the cinema now. We've got that extra £20 that we saved and we didn't spend it on something else that we didn't really need. So it's things like that, and it helps us to see what we're doing, where we're going wrong, and gives us the opportunity to correct those things. Whenever you get your universal credit payment, so whenever it comes into your bank account, that's your income, that's you received income. And what you want to do is we want to write the date here of when that happened, how much your universal credit payment was. You could just simply write in here that it was a payment, and then you can list it under the category universal credit, okay? And that'll keep your sheets right. And then once you get your means tested benefits, so your child payment, your council tax reduction, your Scottish child payment, you can record this here when you've received those things, okay? And then for your self-development, Christmas fund, and emergency fund and birthday fund. Now, the reason why I put these things in here, okay, is because we're recording all of our expenses and our income. This is allowing us to see what money we've got left over after paying those things. Now, it's important that we make good use of that money that's left over, and we don't just put it all into partying or buying things that we don't really need, etc. Here's our golden opportunity to really get us out of debt and to really allow us to live the life we've been wanting to live for a while now. And so this is where self-development comes in handy. I find it personally that when I put money into my self-development fund each month, I'm investing in my future self, which means I'm now able to buy a book without feeling guilty that I've spent money on something that I can't really afford, because I've been putting money away into this self-development fund each month. So I can take money out of that now to invest in my education, my growth as a person, to increase my value in the marketplace, so that when it comes to applying for a job, I have the confidence and I have all the new skills that I've learned through reading these self-development books. Maybe I've found a course online that I've wanted to take, and I've got that confidence and I've got those skills now that when the opportunity comes that I can apply for a job, I've already been investing in myself to the point that I'm ready for this job and I can sustain this job and I can do well in this job and hopefully make a career out of this job. That's why self-development is important, and I put it at the top because it's self-development that's going to get us out of this situation and into the life we've been wanting to live for a while now. Self-development is the most important. It's so important that we invest in our future self first before we do anything else. The next thing we've got is a Christmas fund. I know many of us are putting money aside, especially if we've got children, for Christmas each month. So I've put this in here, and it's up to yourself how much money you want to keep behind each month for Christmas. It's super handy because when Christmas comes around, and we all know it does, we've got the money there and we don't have to panic, and then we don't have to start off the following year in debt because we didn't plan for our Christmas spending. So Christmas fund is super important. The same thing for birthdays, birthday funds. You know, we've all got numerous birthdays. If we've got children, we've got their birthdays. And if we're putting money behind into the fund each month, it just makes it a lot less stressful when the birthdays do come around and we've got to start buying things. So I put the birthday fund in there too. The emergency fund is all for emergencies. So if you get a broken dishwasher, if you get an unexpected car bill, if something unexpected comes up and it's a cost to you, this is where you would use your emergency fund. Now, I put £40 each month into each of these. That's unrealistic for many of us. So please just put in as little as you can each month, because every little helps. Even if it's just £5 a month or £2 a month, it still adds up at the end of 6 months, 12 months, and it's always going to be there when we need it. So I really encourage you to, if you've not done this already, set up a self-development fund, a Christmas fund, birthday fund, an emergency fund, and put in the bare minimum each month. And if you can do more, because it will help your future self. This spreadsheet is free for you to view. I've got the link to it in the description below. Set up your Gmail account, go into Google Sheets, select the monthly budget, and use this as inspiration to create and customize your own monthly budget. And let me know how you get on. There we have it, folks. We've discovered much more about why it's important to connect our budget to our deeper purpose. You see, month 1 is about understanding our money and where it's going, and month 2 is about using that understanding to take simple actions that help us to create the change we wish to see in our world. It gives me a good feeling to share good things with you, and it's what makes life meaningful. So remember to share your own light, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and I'll do my best to get back to you. And remember, until next time, sharing is caring.
Something's so right. This is our time. 'Cause I'm tired of trying to walk the dotted line. There's no waiting, hesitating.